Children change everything, including your relationship. Parenting can bring so much joy, but it can also bring pressure. Pressure on your time, your energy, your emotions, and yes, your relationship. Hi, and welcome back to the Marvellous-U Podcast. If you are new here, my name is Grace, and this is a space for women, parents, and caregivers navigating life, growth, and real-world challenges. If you have not already subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and leave a comment and also share to someone that might need this. This is how you support this channel. Thank you. Today's episode is a very important one. We are talking about parenting as a couple and what happens in your relationship when life feels demanding, overwhelming, or simply too much. If you have ever looked at your partner and thought, we love each other, but something feels different, or if parenting has slowly shifted your connection, communication, or closeness, you are not alone. For many couples, especially those raising children with additional needs, the pressure isn't just physical. It's emotional, it's mental, and it often goes unspoken. In this episode, we are going to explore why relationships can feel strained during intense seasons of parenting, how misunderstandings creep in even when we have the best of intentions, and simple, realistic ways to begin strengthening your relationship again without blame, shame, or unrealistic expectations. This is a safe conversation, a gentle one, and one that reminds us that your relationship deserves care too. So take a moment, get comfortable, and let's talk. Let's talk about some of the pressures that quietly show up in relationships when you are parenting, especially during demanding seasons. The first one is exhaustion and lack of time. Most couples, they are not struggling because they don't care. They are struggling because they are tired. When children comes into relationship, it's a different ball game altogether. So when you are running on empty, everything feels heavier. Small misunderstandings feel bigger and patience run thin. And quality time becomes something you keep postponing. You don't stop loving each other, you just don't have the energy left to show it. Not when there are children in the mix. Another pressure that, affects relationship is different coping styles. One partner might cope by talking things through. The other needs space and silence. One partner wants reassurances and the other just wants to focus on practical solutions. Neither approach is wrong. They are just different. And when these differences are not understood, they can start to feel like distance, rejection, or lack of care. Another pressure on relationship is emotional disconnection. And this does not usually happen suddenly. It builds quietly. When conversations become only about logistics, when checking in emotionally feels like it's too much, or when you assume your partner already knows how you feel. Over time, you can start to feel alone, even when you are still together. What's important to remember here is this. These pressures are common. They are not peculiar to any relationship. And they don't mean that your relationship is failing. They mean you're human. And you are navigating a season that asks a lot of you. Raising children is not easy, especially when you are raising a child with additional needs. So it's important that you are aware. Awareness is the first step. And when you can name what is happening without blame, you create space for understanding. And that is where reconnection begins. Now, How does this stress and this pressure impact on our relationship? One way stress can impact on our relationship is the unspoken resentment that builds up. Unspoken resentment rarely starts with anger. It usually starts with unmet needs. Resentment grows when one partner is the one that is constantly giving, adapting, or sacrificing, but they don't feel seen or supported in return. And many parents, especially mothers and caregivers, they silence their needs. Why do they do it? Because they think now is not the right time to talk about it, or maybe they are already too stressed, or they will be thinking like, I should be able to cope. So over time, those swallowed feelings don't disappear, they settle. And when they settle, resentment starts to build. So resentment is what happens when love keeps flowing, but appreciation, rest, or understanding doesn't come back. One partner becomes the default partner, always giving emotionally, or more or less an emotional manager. And the other partner may not realize anything is wrong because nothing is being said. Silence can feel safer than conflict, but silence has a cost. Resentment is not a sign of failure. It's a signal that something important hasn't been voiced yet. Why do couples drift apart instead of breaking suddenly? Most relationships don't end with one big argument. They end with distance. Couples drift when they stop checking in emotionally, not because they stop caring. Parenting shift focus to logistic. So you are thinking about schedules, appointments, finances, survival mode. Our conversations become practical instead of being personal. It's all about how to get through the day to day. So you really don't stop loving each other. You just stop meeting each other. And when you are living like that as a parent or as parents, your emotional closeness is replaced with efficiency. Touch, laughter, and curiosity slowly fades. And each partner assumes the other understands without asking. And in most families with additional needs, energy is rationed. So couples may unintentionally prioritize the child's needs over their relationship until the relationship feels empty. So drifting doesn't mean the relationship is broken. It means it's being unattended. And yes, this kind of stress impacts relationship. Unspoken resentment and drifting are deeply connected. When feelings are not shared, distance will grow. And when distance grows, it becomes more difficult to speak. How do we strengthen our relationship so that it's not impacted by stress and life's pressures? One way we can do that is to prioritize communication and not perfection. When we learn to speak to one another, when we don't let resentment build, when we keep silent when we should speak, our relationship becomes weaker. So prioritizing communication is so important because that is the only way we can thrive together as couples. Another way we can do that is to schedule intentional check-ins, making time to really see the other person and ask them how they are doing, and not making assumptions that because they have not said anything, then they are okay. No. As couples, we need to check in with each other, making sure that the other person is doing just fine. Another way that relationships can be strengthened is by sharing responsibilities fairly. Most couples often make assumptions and think that when one person is at home, they are not doing enough. Being at home, especially as a mom with children and with other added responsibilities, can increase stress. And when there is no support from your partner and responsibilities are not shared, this can impact on your relationship. So as a couple, to help to strengthen your relationship, sharing responsibilities fairly is very vital. Another way we can do that is to show appreciation in small ways. It's so easy as parents to take each other for granted. And when we don't show appreciation, one person may feel unseen and unheard, and that can bring stress into the relationship. Look for ways to always show appreciation to one another, even in the little things. It could be like your partner has just helped you to do the dishes. Saying thank you makes them feel seen and appreciated. Or maybe your significant other has been with the kids all day, taking them to school and back. Acknowledging their effort and just appreciating that, it goes a long way in strengthening your relationship. And then seek support when needed. If as a couple, your relationship is really under strain, you really don't have to go through it alone. If you need support, seek it. There are other ways you can also get support to strengthen your relationship. It could mean that you will need to get help with someone coming in to clean, or get help with someone coming in to cook. Whatever support you need to help you in your relationship, to help strengthen your relationship, seek that support. And when there's a conflict, don't let it slide. If you cannot resolve it, seek support when it is needed. I would like to share a moment of tension and learning in my own relationship. When I first became a mom and having a child that was diagnosed with additional needs, it became obvious that I couldn't go back to work. And so my husband was the only one leaving the house to work. I was spending most of the time at home with my baby. In addition to that, I started trying to get myself busy by starting a business from home. And I was doing that as I was taking care of my child. Eventually, I started my own business because my first business was into direct selling. I started running my own personal business, manufacturing a pastry snack, which I was supplying to shops. And the business began to grow. But the care needs for my son were always priority. In addition to running that business, we often have to go for therapy sessions, attend hospital appointments, and all of this I was, managing by myself most of the time. And then another child came in. And so I had 2 children while trying to manage my business and also prioritize care for my son. And over the years, as I was juggling all of these activities, a time came when I was emotionally and physically drained. While my husband was spending most of the time at work, I was often left at home, carrying on all of these responsibilities. And in fairness to him, he didn't know the weight of all that I was carrying. But because of the strain on my physical and emotional health, we needed to have a conversation. We needed to talk. At that point, I told him, we need you more at home now than any job outside needs you. And if you don't step in to support this family, you might come back to not have a family anymore. And he listened. It was a difficult conversation. My husband was the type that was very dedicated to his job. He was very loyal to his job. But he needed to have a change of mindset and prioritize his family. And I had to have that conversation to make him see that, because I wasn't coping. I wasn't coping with doing it all. And I just could not be silent any longer. I'm glad he listened, because if he didn't, I don't know what would have been the nature of our relationship now. Because it would have led to me being really upset, resentful, and really feeling unappreciated. But he listened. And I guess he understood and appreciated everything that I was doing, for the family. And he stepped in. And his ability to hear me, and have a change of mind and step in more fully into the family gave me more strength. It kind of revived me again to be able to look into things that I love doing. I started seeing myself more happy, stronger, and pursuing other passions that were of interest to me because he listened. Why am I sharing this? When children comes into the mix as a couple, it takes a lot of patience and communication to strengthen your relationship. It also takes a lot of intentionality and making self-sacrifices in one way or the other to make sure that the family thrive. If you are not able to do that as a couple, resentment will build in, and resentment will eventually lead to drifting apart, your relationship drifting apart, gradually. As we come to the end of this episode, I want to leave you with this thought. Strong relationships are not built in perfect seasons. As couples, we will go through different seasons of our life, and it is in the hard season that relationships are strengthened. This is when two people choose understanding over frustration and connection over silence. If today's conversation resonated with you, I want to invite you to reflect on just one small thing. What is one gentle step you can take to reconnect with your partner, even in the middle of a busy or difficult season? It doesn't have to be big. Sometimes it's a conversation. Sometimes it's listening without trying to fix anything. And sometimes it's simply remembering that you are on the same team. If this episode supported you, please like, subscribe, or share it with someone who might need it. And if you would like to continue these conversations around parenting, relationships, and self-development and self-care, you are always welcome here. Thank you for listening to the Marvellous-U Podcast. Until next time, take care of yourself and take care of each other.